Hello and welcome to Fireside Chat, where we meet with various entrepreneurs and companies here in Southern California. I am Gina Monteleone, and I am located in one of the 3 global offices here in Los Angeles. Today, we meet with a lifetime entrepreneur and partner at Bluesky Energy, Gary Rochlin. Well, thank you, Gary, for joining us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Would you mind introducing yourself?
Sure. I'm Gary Rochlin, founder of Bluesky Energy. We've built quite a few projects from anywhere from residential to a solar farm up in Taos, New Mexico. And we've been in it for about, 14 years.
Okay.
And was in the tech space before this.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
With the growing awareness around climate change and it being a hot topic of discussion, can you let us know how you got into the solar business?
Sure. Via the house that I built, and then I think also I was kind of looking for something that mixed my talents. I have a finance background, but I'm also a builder. Okay. And solar is finance and building, and it's a business, so it's not just building. It's pretty cool. The main things are, I think also with each project that we finish, we get to save the world a little bit.
Yeah. As the costs to install these solar systems, especially, or solar panels on homes continue to decrease, we're not seeing as big of an increase of people adopting these solar panels. Right. Why do you think that's happening when the growth for electric vehicles is increasing at a much faster pace?
It's a very good question. I think because of public awareness. I think Elon Musk has done a tremendous job in bringing awareness to the car market, and what he's done has really not crept into as far as home solar. We're seeing, though, average rates of return or return on investment be anywhere from 8 to 12% with home installations. So I think it's just more public awareness. And now as utility bills are creeping up, then it's making a lot more sense.
And would you say that in the past, having, say, solar panels on your roof, that energy would go back to, say, one of the big electric companies, whereas now with Tesla's energy or technology, it's going to start creating more of like your individual system for the home?
I think either way with net metering, it's more of a bank account. So if you're sending energy back into the grid during the summer, in the wintertime, that will go backwards and you'll actually be using it. The proper way to install is to not over-install in the house. You're not going to make money from the utility. So, is because the benefits are storing the power so you can have it when you need it. True.
There has been discussions around the fact that storage for this energy is not as efficient as we would like it to be. So, is there a lot of work going into making a lot more efficient storage banks?
That's a good question as well. Solar, as mentioned, will give you an 8 to 12% return on investment. You're not going to get that with a battery. But with batteries, as the price falls, although the price has been going up recently, you can, for the grid, we can store power for use at night or during peak hours. And that's what the California utilities want. Although we're doing a project, a microgrid out in Sylmar, a commercial project, and on that project right now, we have rebates and depreciation, and we're offsetting demand. So our payback on a solar and a battery project will be about 3 years, or 22% per year.
Okay.
So it makes a lot more sense commercially to have solar and batteries.
Okay, so working together.
And the residential market it's more about battery backup, although the whole goal is to offset peak time, but it's a hybrid model.
Right.
Right.
Because right now with the electric companies, usually when they are trying to compensate for the peak time, they actually waste energy in order to offset that. Is that how it works?
Yeah, there's really no way of slowing down the energy except when we get into the utility space and the wheeling and what's going on there, it's a complex model. And there's basically 3 power grids within the U.S. and however way you want to look at it. But I think there's a lot of pressure on the grid, and I think specifically with the fires that have been going on in California, is when you shut down the power in these hillside areas because of fire or flood. Now that's where batteries come in, and they've been offering tremendous incentives for people who have a medical condition to get batteries almost for free. And also they're offering a tremendous amount of incentives. So we're really at a shifting point in the industry where it's changing.
And you see most of the batteries getting their energy from solar at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, right now, if you want to get a rebate from the utilities, they have to be charged by your solar panels on a residential basis, as well as in the commercial space.
Interesting.
Yeah, so what we call this, the term is a microgrid.
Okay, microgrid.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
It is cool.
So since you've been in this industry for a few years now, how have you seen the technology change, and how do you expect it to change in the next few years?
It's another good question. We're basically using silicon, right? But we're using a dumb silicon. So we've seen, it's not like in the computer space where we're seeing a Moore's law. We're seeing our efficiencies go from 16 to 22% in the current environment. Where we're seeing it, the biggest changes right now, we've seen microinverters come in, which you have an inverter per panel, but I think also the advent of the microgrid, as we had touched on before, where we have a complete system. So if the power goes out, you can, with proper management, operate your house, glamping at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you see the government kind of shifting in that direction as well?
The government right now with global warming and the awareness of global warming is really pushing for net zero type projects or trying to get, I know here in Los Angeles where we're going to have the Olympics, the city of Santa Monica is hoping where the events that are held here to be carbon neutral.
Okay, that's great news.
Right.
We need that support.
We do.
What are some new and innovative ways that you see solar being used?
We're seeing now community solar come into play where it's actually working, meaning we'll have an array off-site away from where you are, and you can buy panels on that. So say it's 10 miles away or whatever, and there's a software via the utilities which will offset the power for your home. So if you live in a condominium or along those lines, you can be doing that. I think also there is, within the space, which is, there's a company right now who's doing concentrating solar to actually create hydrogen via cracking. And so, I don't want to mention the company's name, but they also have a technology where they can crack concrete. And concrete is the number 7 polluter in the world. But this also makes hydrogen as a fuel source for cars and trucks a more viable solution, and that's via concentrating solar. We're seeing, across all the boards, you can see it. We're seeing it in agriculture as well, where people are growing crops underneath kind of shade structures. So it's working all over the place, and the sun keeps shining.
Yeah, especially as we continue to increase the capacity for these batteries to hold, or ways that we can hold this power. I think they were saying, my research was saying that if we covered part of the Sahara Desert, it could power the world.
Well, we have a CREZ zone right outside of Los Angeles right now, which is a certified renewable energy zone, which is in SCE territory, although then LADWP is using most of the power there. But SCE is trying to do that right now, and that's on Highway 395 going up to Mammoth, outside of Mojave. But I think also what's happening is the technology going into batteries, whereas for years batteries remain the same, they remain the same, they remain the same. And then all of a sudden when the storage market came about, I think specifically Elon Musk has done a lot towards that, and his new battery has a lot more power density per cell. So currently we're using like a AA battery inside all of his stuff, but his new battery is going to change the market.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very cool. And I think he's in partnership with Panasonic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
I'm excited to see what comes out of that. Do you see people using solar in spaces like crypto mining or?
Yes, I do. I mean, right now, we own some projects as well, but I'm seeing the financing mechanisms change where we're starting to see green bonds via Apple or via Google, as well as the energy being produced in disadvantaged communities being able to create crypto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's still in it's a little nascent right now, but there are ways that blockchain is going to be involved in financing and getting into areas that normally would not be able to get the solar power.
Interesting. So if, say, someone in an area that could usually not get that power, are you saying that the companies are helping them through putting solar energy capabilities in like their neighborhoods?
Yes. So it's kind of like an opportunity zone. And I think right now there's the carbon market in California really has never taken off, and we're starting to see that it's starting to.
Oh, okay.
And so with that there's going to be, I'm not sure how blockchain is actually going to be used, mainly because blockchain is created by solving formulas within computers and using a lot of energy. But I've spoken to some people that know how to do it.
Interesting. That's great too.
Yes.
I'm sure Elon Musk will be very happy about that.
Yeah.
In addition to solar, do you see any other renewable energy sources gaining as much of a widespread adoption? Yeah,
I mean, clearly the one that I'm really focused on is fuel cell and hydrogen. And I think with what Heliogen is the name of the company, what they're doing in regards to creating green hydrogen, it's a game changer.
Is that the hydro fuel?
Yes, it is. And I drive a hydrogen car, and it's an electric car that has its own, plant in it, power plant in it. It's great, and it works. And my exhaust is water.
Wow. So the emission is like zero.
It's water.
It's water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
If only we could trap that water and then...
Yeah, I go home and I can mix the scotch with it. I got scotch and water at home and my exhaust, something like that. Exactly. So, I think that's pretty cool. I think the efficiencies are coming up in regards to home solar or even commercial solar. And I think we're going to start seeing it adopted a lot more, mainly because it just makes financial sense.
Right.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you're getting a 20% return on investment, it's hard to turn down.
Absolutely.
Right. And from the homeowner standpoint, if you're getting 8 to 12 and you're getting 2% in the bank, if you're lucky, it makes complete sense. Yeah.
Right. So finally, we would love to learn what your company's mission is.
Our company mission is to basically do craftsman style work for our clients and continue on our mantra is that every project we bring online, we're helping save the world.
That's awesome.
It is pretty awesome. So it's fun.
Well, thank you so much, Gary.
Sure, my pleasure.
We love learning more about solar, and especially with the environment and the global warming crisis and everything that's going on. It's been a pleasure.
Sure, and if you want to see our work, you can go to blueskyenergy.solar, and you can see the portfolio of projects that we've been working on, and we have a couple more coming online. But it's fun.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.